Proverbs 24:27 says, "Put your outdoor work in order and get your fields ready. After that, build your house." When it comes to order, getting our essential documents in place is a life-giving exercise that sets us free, knowing that our wishes have been expressed in advance. Let's join the FMF staff for a conversation.
And so the discussion really isn't about wills or trusts or power of attorney. It's a discussion about, and it really relates to their legacy. So we're talking about, tell me what's your dream for your family? What's your dream for your ministries? And we don't start the discussion about, well, this is what a will is and this is what a trust is. We talk about what are your dreams and aspirations for your family and for your ministries. And then we talk that through, and they say, well, I want this for my children. I want this for my grandchildren. I want this for my church. I want this for my university. I want this for world missions and childcare. And then we help them put the things in place legally, the legal documents to make that happen. And they're looking at us to say, okay, I've told you my dream about this. This is what I want to do for my family and my ministries. And then it's up to me to say, okay, to make that happen, you need to do this in your will and this in your trust, and here's who the power of attorney is. And so it becomes a discussion about the right tool to meet that goal that they're talking about. And you don't need to know, frankly, they don't need to know what a will or trust is. They're relying on me to say, this is the right tool to make what you just told me happen.
And so one of the things that we have to do is so critical in the process is just to try to help them say, okay, if something happens today, who's this person in your life that you would want to have to do something? And even though that person may not exist, we find somebody, and having that person named just kind of gets it going, and you'll find, at least of what I've found, is that most generally off the cuff, that name that comes out through that conversation is almost the exact right name. And a few other people maybe as backups that could be in that role. And what's so important is once we get that rolling, these become foundational issues, and they can be a support mechanism. And so that's part of what we do, is stepping alongside with them to help them getting those essential documents put in place, such that if something did happen that was unforeseen, then the plan doesn't crumble.
And it's all personal. Like, everyone's situation is different. Everyone's documents, everyone's plan is different. I've heard, Tim, I've heard you say this to people, I don't know how many times, a bunch of different times, that it's about you. It's about what you have. People sometimes seem to center in on, hey, I heard about this. Like, Kirk, you mentioned these are tools, right? Many of them legal tools. So my friend has this, or my parents, or my whatever, they have this kind of document or this kind of a plan. They're invested this way. There's this hot stock or whatever it is, right? And Tim, I've heard you mention many times in the past, forget about the tool. There's a bunch of tools in the toolbox, right? Let's talk about what you need, what God's giving you, what dreams you have, what calling you have, and then we'll point you to the right tool, right? And I think, again, that's incredibly freeing to allow it to just be, this is my plan for what God's called me to.
The people that do that planning and put those documents in place are saying to their family, I love you. I love you enough to make sure all my ducks are in a row. And that's really all it is. It's got nothing to do with the document. It's all about them saying, I care about you, my wife, my children, my husband, my family, so much that I'm going to make sure that if something happens, it's going to be smooth sailing for you.
So, friends, what we're talking about is preparation well done. It really is about bringing your dreams, your resources, your calling, everything to the table, your desire to love your family well, to plan well in advance, and to create spaces so that you can just get on with living life and living it to the fullest. What feels like it could be a burden at the beginning is really a life-giving exercise. And the best news is you got friends like these guys on the screen, like Mac and Scott and Tim and Kirk, to help you. And so we invite you to go grab a copy of Preparation Well Done. You can find it at fmffinancial.org/stewardship, or you can find it at lightandlife.fm and go to discipleship materials. Read the stories, go through the exercises, ask yourself the questions, read the scriptures, and see for yourself. And then send an email or pick up the phone and call FMF and start that conversation, because you've heard how it's going to start. You know, it's not going to be judgment, it's going to be journey. And they're going to begin with asking, how can you best love your family? What are your dreams? How can we best accomplish your goals? You won't find that anywhere else. So thanks for joining us for these conversations, and there will be more along the Stewardship Well Done journey.